The largest door in the world, one of the biggest video screens on the planet, $1.3 billion. This is probably the most extravagant stadium ever built. And yet, in March 2026, this temple of excess earned a green building seal. How? That's the strange part, because the answer isn't in anything you can see when you look at this stadium. I'll take you inside Jerry World, show you the records that make it an engineering monster, and reveal the invisible detail that turned the most extravagant stadium in America into a certified green building. The official name is AT&T Stadium, but everybody calls it Jerry World, a not-so-subtle tribute to Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, who set out to build the most impressive stadium on earth and basically pulled it off. It sits in Arlington, Texas, between Dallas and Fort Worth, and it's home to the Dallas Cowboys, one of the most valuable teams in all of sports. And just to set the scale, at the 2026 World Cup, this is the stadium hosting more matches than any other venue, 9 games, including a semifinal. That World Cup is exactly what pushed it to finally chase the green seal. But the story that matters here is the buildings. But before we get to the green seal, you need to understand the sheer size of this thing, and the numbers are so absurd they sound made up. Let's understand why this stadium is an engineering legend. AT&T Stadium opened in 2009, and at the time, it was one of the most expensive stadiums ever built, about $1.3 billion. On a normal game day, it holds around 80,000 people, but with standing room areas opened up, the maximum capacity reaches 105,000. It's one of the largest stadiums in the United States. And then come the records. AT&T has a massive retractable roof, over 100,000 square meters of cover, that opens or closes in about 12 minutes. The whole structure is held up by 2 steel arches nearly 300 meters long, which create the largest column-free interior in the world, meaning not a single pillar blocking the view anywhere. But the most absurd number in this stadium isn't the price, it's what fits inside it. Hanging right over the middle of the field is a video board that, when it debuted, was the largest high-definition screen in the world, almost 50 meters wide, visible from any seat. And then there are the doors. At each end of the stadium, there's a retractable glass wall that is, officially, the largest door in the world, about 55 meters wide by 37 meters tall. They take roughly 18 minutes to fully open. Everything in this building is big beyond reason. If you like discovering what's hidden inside the world's biggest builds, subscribe to the channel, because what comes next is the actual secret of this stadium, and it's the part nobody tells you. And here's the part that makes this video interesting. How does the most extravagant stadium in America, a giant, enclosed, air-conditioned dome in the Texas heat, earn a green building seal? Because, in practice, it's a huge challenge. Cooling a volume that size through a Texas summer burns a brutal amount of energy. At first glance, this is exactly the kind of building that looks like the opposite of sustainable. That's precisely what the stadium worked on. To earn LEED, AT&T invested more than $7 million in high-efficiency heating and cooling systems, in water fixtures that use less, and in sustainable lighting. A consultant estimated those changes cut the stadium's overall energy use by about 16%. That may not sound like much, but 16% of the energy bill of a stadium this size is an enormous saving, every single day, with the building standing exactly as it is. So what exactly is this seal? LEED is the most widely used green building certification in the world, and it doesn't reward intentions or talk. It measures real operations, how much energy the building uses, how much water it consumes, how it handles waste, and the air quality inside. You have to prove all of it with data. There are 4 levels: certified, silver, gold, and at the top, platinum. AT&T reached gold, the 3rd step. And here's a detail that changes the whole story. The version of LEED that AT&T earned isn't the one for new construction. It's LED OMM, operations and maintenance, the category made for buildings that already exist and are fully up and running. Think about what that means. The stadium didn't win this seal because of its 2009 design. It won it because of how it's operated today, in 2026. LEED OM measures the day-to-day, real consumption, real ventilation, real waste management, event after event, with 105,000 people inside. And the heart of it is an automation system that monitors the building in real time: temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, air quality, lighting, ventilation, all adjusted automatically as the stadium switches between a packed event day and an empty one. Remember how I said at the start that the answer wasn't in anything you can see in this stadium? This is exactly it. What got certified isn't the concrete or the giant door or the video board. It's that invisible operational intelligence running behind the scenes. AT&T's green secret is hidden in plain sight, and you can see exactly where it scored. The official USGBC scorecard shows 70 points out of 100. The biggest slice came from energy, 26 out of 35 points. Then indoor environmental quality, the air people breathe inside, 17 out of 22. Transportation, thanks to access and parking, 10 out of 14. And maybe the most impressive number, waste management, 7 out of 8 points, almost the maximum. In other words, AT&T's strengths are exactly the things that matter most in a stadium that's actually operating: energy, air, and waste. This isn't green makeup, it's measured performance. And there's an honest detail at the root of all this. According to the stadium's own management, they'd already been investing in efficiency for years. What was missing was a reason to chase the formal certification. That reason was the World Cup. With the stadium chosen to host more matches than any other venue, going for the seal became a priority. And it's worth looking closely at each of these fronts, because together they explain the gold. On energy, the biggest score, the gain comes from three layers: high-efficiency climate systems, fully LED lighting, and the automation that fires up each system only when it's actually needed, with no waste. On indoor air, the stadium measures carbon dioxide and air quality in real time and adjusts ventilation to match the crowd. With 105,000 people breathing in there, keeping the air healthy while still saving energy is no small feat. On transportation, the location and the enormous access infrastructure get the crowd in with the smallest possible impact per person. And on waste management, almost a perfect score, 7 out of 8. The stadium sorts, recycles, and diverts from landfill most of everything that comes out of a packed event. Add it all up and you reach the 70 points of gold. For a building this size, run at this pace, with 105,000 people at a time, earning this certification is, honestly, impressive. And now the most uncomfortable point, and the most important one. A building this size will never be a model of restraint. An air-conditioned dome built for 105,000 people is going to consume a lot of energy, no matter how efficient it is. That's physics, not marketing. So AT&T's LED gold doesn't make it the greenest stadium in the world. That's not the point. What the seal shows is something else: that even the most over-the-top building in the country can be measured, held accountable, and improved. That you can cut 16% of a giant's energy without tearing anything down. And that's exactly why renovating and certifying a stadium that's already standing makes so much sense. Building a new stadium from scratch creates a mountain of carbon. Taking one that already exists and making it more efficient is, almost always, the more sustainable choice. AT&T didn't get smaller, it got measurable, and in a building this size, that's already a lot. So the next time you see this stadium on a broadcast, a Cowboys game, a concert, or the World Cup, there's a layer to the story that goes beyond the spectacle. AT&T Stadium is the temple of excess, the largest door in the world, one of the biggest video boards on the planet, the largest column-free interior anywhere, 105,000 seats, and a $1.3 billion price tag. And since March 2026, it's also a certified green building, LEED Gold. It's not the greenest stadium in the world, but it might be proof that even the most unlikely giant can take a step in the right direction. And in a building this size, every step counts. If you want to keep discovering how the world's greatest stadiums and buildings work on the inside, hit like and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, which stadium do you want to see on the channel next? See you next episode!